Hi everyone, it's Katrina of the Good Love Project, and today is day 20 of my 30 days of medibation. So, for those of you tuning in for the first time, medibation is meditation plus masturbation. It's a solo tantric or sacred sexuality, mindful sexuality practice, which combines using sensation, erotic energy, and mindfulness or deep concentration. So I've been going on this journey now. It's I'm almost near the end. Like I only have 10 days left, and I'm just loving it. So here we go. My share for the night. So today, earlier this evening, I had a dance audition, and it was the first time I'd done modern dance in a few years. Modern dance is my main dance training background, but it's been several years since I've been in the studio or taken a class or been a part of a production. And my body was so excited and grateful to experience that form of movement again. It was like running some of the old drills. It was like reconnecting with a long lost beloved friend. And it got me thinking about the importance of movement for health and also the effect that movement can have on pleasure. During a sexual encounter, we often respond to pleasure by like thrusting or bucking our hips, humping, if you will. And we instinctively do this. And what happens on a physical level, on like a anatomical kinesiology level, is that we actually, by thrusting our hips like that, by humping, we engage the pelvic floor, and that creates small contractions and releases that stimulate us on the inside. So either stimulating the internal structure of the clitoris or the deep internal penile shaft. And so it's almost like kind of like you're using your muscles to kind of stroke yourself off from the inside out, which is pretty hot, right? And fun. And when you know it, and then once you know about it, it's kind of nerdy, and then that's like nerdy and hot. It also engages muscles around the pelvic nerve, which is a very deep nerve deep in the pelvis, and that can also give really great pleasure. And it stimulates the vagus nerve, which trips off the parasympathetic nervous system, so then really just like it helps us to relax and to turn on and to become sensitized to pleasure and to open to things. It tells us to observe and check out what's going on and to get engaged. So for tonight's session, I decided to play with movement, incorporating specifically 3 kinds of motion: rocking or thrusting, rolling or undulating, and grinding or churning. So I put away my toys, my tools for the night. I didn't use any of my, yoni eggs, vibrators, so there's nothing. Put it all to the side. Kind of set the mood in my little mini temple here, my nest. This has kind of become my love nest. I lit a red candle because, this kind of movement is very root and sacral chakra-ish. So lit a red candle, burned some Palo Santo, and I put on some drum and didge music, so I wanted something very earthy and kind of primal. And I started in a cross-leg position, and first just kind of grounded into my body, and so focused in on my breath, as I usually do, tuning into breath. And then I started with rolling, so moving with my breath in an undulating pattern, in and out through my nose, and just like letting my spine kind of roll, which of course has been rolling my pelvis a little bit, and just really starting to wake my body up. And undulating is a very sensual, very kind of sexy movement. We think of like belly dancers, we think of, snakes, undulates. Aaliyah in The Queen of the Damned undulates through the whole movie, you know. So it's very sensual, and it really wakes up that sensual energy. So I started with rolling, then shifted to rocking, which was kind of a sort of quick hip thrusting. Like, you can't see me, I'm doing it, you can't see me doing it because it's below the camera, but as you can see, it kind of has me like bouncing a little bit. So then just kind of hip thrusting that like really like kind of got my pelvis open and awakened, and then shifting my breath to in through the nose and out through the mouth with sound. So then bringing that ecstatic breath that I've talked about in some of my other videos into it. Is matching the breath with the movement is really important. The breath will actually help you to sink deeper into the movements. And then finally, when I'm feeling like really warm and really feeling my body, shifted to grinding or churning, as it's often called in tantric text. And churning is key. If you look at a lot of tantric art and you see, you know, Shiva and Shakti together, or the Daka and the Dakini, they're kind of usually one is like wrapped around the other in that sort of yab-yum position. And the way that sex happens in this very kind of upright and enclosed position is via churning, which is, you know, rolling your hips in, kind of grinding your pelvis and making like circles. So you can do like large circles, you can do small, fast circles. You can kind of do little like figure eights and stuff. And so I moved into that, and then once I really kind of felt my pussy start to come online, I then just kind of let my body take over, and I found myself laying onto my back and lifting my hips and really going for that grind, and then bringing in the pelvic floor breathing. So I'm like breathing all the way through from like crown to root, breathing into my pelvic floor, sighing, starting to bring in the sounds. Sounding really helps to get all of that going. And, you know, I ran my hands around my body a little bit, you know, on my breasts, on my mons, but for the most part, all the sensation was coming from the movement and from the breath. And it's what I like to call a dancegasm. And I've experienced dancegasm, you know, in an ecstatic dance, or like even honestly just out like dancing the club or dancing at home, just really getting into the movement and then just having this feeling of like, oh, you know. If you've ever had that, I want to hear about it. Dancegasms are the shit. I love it. So exploring sensual movements can really be a game changer for solo or for partner sex, as it can really help you to kind of strengthen your awareness of how movement affects your response to erotic sensation. And if you're the kind of person that tends to tense your body when you experience pleasure, like it's funny, some people run towards pleasure and they're just like, yes, yes, give me more, give me more. You know, they're the ones that tend to like buck and thrust and like kind of push against pleasure. They're the ones that'll like grab your head and push it down. But then some people kind of run away from pleasure, and it's just like, it's really intense and it feels good, but it almost feels like too good. And so you're kind of like, you know, climbing the walls, trying to get away from it. And if you're more of the runaway kind, or the kind of like hold on, embrace yourself kind, then exploring movement on your own can be a great way, if you would like, you know, there's nothing wrong with any of that, but if you would like to be able to soften and kind of open to receiving more, or just receiving differently, receiving something a little different, exploring sensual movement in your solo time can be a great way to build that and to get comfortable with that. So that's my share for tonight. I'm actually gonna I'm gonna go out dancing after this, and who knows? Maybe I'll have a public dancegasm on the dance floor. So if you see me looking like I'm really, really enjoying myself tonight, if you're out and about and you catch me, you'll know. We'll both know. So yeah, thank you so much for joining me tonight. The other nights, if you've been joining me for a while, if you're on YouTube, be sure to hit subscribe so you get all of my updates for this series as well as other videos that I'm putting up. And keep your eyes open. In December, I'll be launching my 30 days of Medibation, 30 days solo Tantra challenge, and that'll be your chance to go into a personal sacred sexuality space and kind of recharge your mind and your body to strengthen that connection with self and just find passionate inspiration. So I hope that you'll let me lead you on that journey. You'll come along with me. Got 10 more days left. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. Thanks for being with me tonight. And thank you so much, those of you that have sent in all the really sweet messages and letters. I've had some really sweet things pop up into my inbox talking about this series, and I really appreciate each and every one of you. And until next time, keep on the loving. Bye.